صدح صوت الحوافر وسمعتها الخيل والفرسان، وصل لأقصى بقاع الأرض، صدى صوته ملا الأقطار طول وعرض. تسابق له من اللهفة بنات الريح، ما تقف لو تسير الريح عكس الريح. من الصحراء تشوف الناس ضحضاح السراب أسراب، تلاحظ في ملامحها الغريبة حالة استغراب، تحدد وجهة الصوت اللي يصداه وصلت الأسماع، وعلى الوجهة ما تدري عن بعضها وتتفق بإجماع. تجي من كل دار وكل صوب، ترابط بين أحاسيس وقلوب، تجمعنا الهواية والمحبة هنا من حيث تجتمع الشعوب.
في قلب الدوحة هناك موقع ينطلق فيه عنان النظر نحو البحر، جوهرة معمارية صممت خصيصا لمن يسعون خلف التميز كل يوم وكل لحظة. جزيرة الفخامة فيها أسلوب حياة، شقق متميزة ومتنوعة بمساحاتها، من أطول ممشى تجاري مكيف في العالم إلى أطول موقف سيارات تحت الأرض، ومن ملعب الجولف إلى جمال الممشى البحري وإلى روعة الهدوء. جزيرة جيوان، فخامة، تألق.
A book, a desk, a teacher. For some, a classroom is a given. But for many around the world, it remains out of reach. Yet, we've always come forward to change that. Education above all is dedicated to making quality education accessible to all. Because when a child learns, they don't just change their future.
I want to be a pilot. I've dreamt of being a scientist.
Doctor. I want to work where I can help people.
They change the world around them.
إمكانياتك معروفة، وبعدين الطريق كان صعب وطويل.
نختلف، والجديد التأثير.
طحت وايد وكل مرة ترجع توقف.
تجاهل الأصوات المحبطة واستمر في الجري.
الصوت المحبط خله لك دافع للأفضل. كل متسابق عنده قصة، مو ضروري توصل لخط النهاية. محتاج سبب واحد يذكرك أننا مع بعضنا بنتقدم أكثر وأكثر.
الماراثون اختر سباقك.
تطبيق لبيه، منصتك الذكية لإدارة خدماتك الصحية لدى مؤسسة حمد الطبية. للتسجيل حمل تطبيق لبيه من متجر التطبيقات، ثم سجل الدخول عبر معرف التوثيق الوطني لدولة قطر. فعل خاصية بصمة الإصبع أو الوجه لتسهيل الدخول. فعل الإشعارات لتصلك تنبيهات المواعيد والتغييرات. يمكنك من خلال التطبيق الاطلاع على المواعيد الطبية القادمة بكل سهولة، إعادة جدولة المواعيد أو إلغاؤها بخطوة واحدة فقط، استعراض ملفك الطبي والاطلاع على نتائج التحاليل والوصفات الطبية، تقييم حالتك الصحية ذاتياً باستخدام تقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي. ونعدكم بتقديم المزيد من الخدمات. لبيه، منصتك الذكية لرعاية صحية أفضل، ونسعد بخدمتكم دائماً.
Hello and a very warm welcome from Doha, Qatar. We're here at the Alshaqab Equestrian Centre and it's the fourth and final leg of His Highness the Father Amir's Prix. Now joining me I've got Will Fletcher, of course part of our commentary team but a show jumper too. You've not been to Doha before, first impressions as a rider?
As I said, I've never been, but what a fantastic venue. You see the ring, it's absolutely brilliant. The footing is incredible, the stadium. And then even as a rider, you see the behind the scenes, the air conditioning in the stables, you have a canter track, just all the facilities you can possibly need to make this event so fantastic.
And it's quite sunny as well.
That definitely makes it a bit better.
Well, it really is a spectacular venue. And behind us, we've got the Longines Outdoor Arena, which was actually the setting for an incredible opening ceremony back on the 1st of January.
We had an opening ceremony on the first day of His Highness Amir Father event. It was one of the greatest opening ceremonies I've seen ever, with the drone shows going up. A small story talking about the cultures and the horses. Honestly, it was something great to have on our ground. It's the first time to have an opening ceremony on an equestrian event in Qatar. We had many people involved, and they did a great job. The director, Mr. Ahmed Al-Bakir, has been fantastic. He's been part of the FIFA World Cup in 2022. He's been part of the Asian Cup also, of the opening ceremony there. And every time he shows us something extraordinary and something amazing on ground. We managed to do it well, and it came out with a great result. It makes us feel proud.
Wow, what a spectacular opening ceremony with those drones, and it really does mark the fact, the importance of this isn't just a sporting event, it is about the heritage of equestrian in Doha itself, and that's really important to talk about because we do have the elite riders here, but it's the national riders that get to experience this whole competitive environment.
Absolutely, for the national riders to come here weeks on end, to jump at such a high level, to be involved with the world's top riders, to learn from them, see what they do in the ring, how they warm up, how they take care of the horses. It's so invaluable to those national riders that are trying to get up the ranks of the sport to become the world's elite.
And as I've said, we are on leg 4 of the first part of this very long new series that has a prize fund of 10 million euros, which is quite a phenomenal thing. It's really marking Qatar as a force in the world of show jumping, and we learned a little bit more about that series.
My name is Salmin Sultan Al Suwaidi. I'm the sports manager in Doha Equestrian Tour. I've been a rider for 22 years, since I was 8 years old. And to be on the ground and managing such an event, 1 4-star and 9 consecutive 5-star events, is something pretty amazing. For the total of the 10 legs we have this year, we have prize money which exceeded 10.5 million euros. Alshaqab and the Qatar Equestrian Federation have been supported by the Qatar Olympic Committee for many years, and so we did a joint committee that supported this great event. So DET Doha Equestrian Tour is 10 consecutive weeks of great sport. We started with a 4-star event on the first week, for the first leg, and then we continued with the 3 5-star events coming after that to the 4th leg of Amir Father. And then we're going to His Highness the Amir Sword. We have many good riders coming internationally from Europe, from America, and all around the world. Even our locals, it's motivating to them to compete against all of the great riders that are coming to Doha. We look forward to welcome all the people here.
Well, it really is a spectacular, this Doha Equestrian Tour is something that's growing, but it's quite unique, isn't it?
Absolutely, and what it's come to now with 9 5-star events and 1 4-star to start it off is unprecedented across the world. You have a fantastic arena with brilliant footing, and you can bring the horses and they can really grow into the level as you keep going through these weeks. To have a 5-star Grand Prix for that much money every single week is a fantastic avenue for the horses and riders to have to do.
And with the 10 million euro prize pot across the series, has quite enticing, and it has enticed someone who's dominating the first 4 legs, or 3 legs, is Scott Brash. He's done something, a double-double. Can you explain what Scott Brash has been up to here?
Scott has been on absolute flying form. He's won 2 3-star Grand Prix and 2 5-star Grand Prix on 4 different horses, and he's just absolutely flying. To win that many Grand Prix in just 14 days is incredible. And it's not just that. In the 4-star Grand Prix the first week, he was narrowly beaten by his Olympic teammate Harry Charles, so he had pulled out a second there. So that 10 million prize pot, Scott has had a big grasp on that.
Well, who is going to challenge him? And there's a couple of riders in there. Eve Jobs and Harry Charles were very, very lucky to go and follow Harry Charles and find out a little bit about what his plan is for this incredible tour.
I'm Harry Charles. I'm from Great Britain, here in Doha with my group of horses, preparing for the season and getting to jump some great 5-star events out here. I've brought 6 horses with me. My 2 top guys, Sherlock and KASS, are out here, and then kind of the next group behind them, Fighting Phil, Bandit, a new horse, Ballypatrick, Tiberius, and then Robinson, who are all very exciting, and I think this year hopefully will flourish and join Sherlock and Casper at the top. The group I've been working with that are here, I've made maybe the strongest partnership with in the last 12 months, and you know, they're all ready to jump the kind of level that's required here. Some are still learning, but very much capable of jumping what's required. Even the 3-star series really helped us out here. You know, you can really bring a horse up, give them experience in some bigger tracks in a really good environment. That's, I think, an amazing thing here, maybe doesn't get talked about enough, the 3-star series, because it's a kind of a feeder tour into the 5-star. So that's been really helpful. A new horse, Ballypatrick Tiberius, here is great. I learn a lot more about him. I think instead of going from show to show, to be reacting to different environments can be sometimes a little challenging with a new horse. So being in the same place for a few weeks, a couple months even, is really beneficial, I think, for a new partnership. I believe I'm currently 3rd in the rankings. It's all kind of thanks to Casco Boo. I've only used him in the Grand Prix so far. He's 16 now, and you talk about a horse knowing their job, but he's the epitome of that. He knows exactly what he has to do. He knows the sport better than I think maybe me. He's an amazing horse, and now he's going to get a little rest. Sherlock's going to kind of take over that. I'm very excited now as the Grand Prix progress to start using Sherlock and maybe a couple of other horses. To be 3rd is really, really cool, and very proud of the work we've done and our team with these horses. Scott's quite far out in front, so we'll do our best to try and close the gap a little bit. I think he's running away with it right now. He's won a Grand Prix in all 4 horses, so it doesn't matter what horse he uses. It would feel pretty good to beat Scott. It feels very far away right now. We got a lucky touch the first week in the Grand Prix, and that felt very good, but then I think it almost made him angry. So he kind of responded very well, and yeah, it's great having someone to chase, and even if I think I'm doing a great job, someone's always doing better. So it keeps you hungry, keeps you working hard, thinking of new ways, and he's great to also bounce ideas off, and he helps me, which is really nice to have someone that good also as a friend.
Well, we are moments away. Will's gone up to the commentary position because the stage is set for this first 5-star class. It's day 1 of His Highness the Father Amir's Prix. We look forward to the action. I'm going to hand you over now to the commentary team who'll take you through the sport.
Not proceed into the second in normal two-phase, I guess is what we call it. 1 to 8 and 9 to 13. Talk us through maybe some of your thoughts of that course. You went down and walked it well.
Yeah, it's a nice course here. We'll see with Nadia to start, but an easy 8 strides 1 to 2, 8 strides 3 to 4. It should be a nice course for the horses to get settled in, with a few of the riders riding their Grand Prix horses, and then I'm sure we'll see some fast going from people who are getting a bit more competitive. But here with Nadia to kick us off, I'm sure she'll be getting ready for the week ahead.
Exactly, a European bronze medalist, technical, efficient and fast, was the winner of a 1:55 start in week 1. Nadia Peter-Steiner, Milia, Switzerland.
Yeah, just did that really nice and easy there. Now, this horse has been jumping super the whole tour, has barely had a fence down, looking really level and even. Just making sure it's ticking over, ready for the rest of the week. And just a nice 7 up there, and then 5. Coming back round to the double to finish off the first phase. Just taking a little bit easy around the corner. Just the extra one, just setting it back up there for the double of verticals. Mila looking really in the hand, really level, finding this very comfortable. And I'm sure Nadia will be very pleased with this for the rest of the week.
Well, just the one left to go. Will she keep the blue oxer in place? She does, and she crosses the line, 35.64. That is a strong start for Nadia Peter-Steiner for Switzerland. 35.64 is the standard set at this early stage for the Pathfinder. Strong performance there.
Absolutely, it's a super start, and the course will be very happy with how that's looking. A couple of extra tries to keep her in the hand, and yeah, looking superb as she's carrying on a great form.
Well, the next partnership is a winner here already. Well, the athlete at least, in no stranger to the podium in Alshaqab, and especially that final week of the 10-week series, the Longines Global Championship Tour. He won it twice. The double Doha, the success of LGCT Grand Prix win in Doha 2024-2025. I'm sure he'll be aiming for the 3rd win, but he was the big winner of that LGCT finale in Prague last year. He goes next with Wathnan Calvaro, this gelding, and the top 30 rider in the world is Abdel Said for Belgium.
Just starting out there on the even 8, this big jumping horse. Been jumping some great rounds through the tour. But yeah, that Abdel's wonderful Grand Prix win in Prague to win that Super Grand Prix, but this is a place that he has called home. He's come here and he's won so many big classes, and always competitive and always fighting.
He was actually with me in Abu Dhabi last week, and he was the driver in the ride and drive, and I can assure you, even when he's driving, he is just as fast as what he is on a horse.
Yeah, does not surprise me at all. It's taking it a bit easy today, this horse, looking like he's been saved for the big classes this week, but no, always a great competitor is Abdel, and he's so fast against the clock. But this one's giving a bit of an exhibition round here. Technique is brilliant, making a lovely shape, really looking super rideable. I'm sure he'll be very pleased.
Well, looks like another double clear here as the second partnership that steps forward in the Longines arena is 4. It's over the time allowed of 36 seconds. So it is in fact 4 for time for Abdel Said and Wathnan Calvaro, Belgium. Now, possibly, as you say, it's the first of the 5-star competitions, maybe saving it, going slightly at a slower pace to save that for the week ahead.
Absolutely, and the way it jumped, it looks like it will step up with no bother at all. Yes, it's been doing some great things throughout the tour already, but it looked absolutely super there on week 4.
Well, the next nation represented is Italy, as Roberto Privitali goes with Kyrenas, the stallion. It's 11 years old by quality time, TN. Italian young rider in senior programs for years. He's famously competed the Italian Absolute Championships, national success, but of course on this international stage as well. No stranger to the podium also.
Yeah, just keeping it nice and short around the corner to 2 and 3, a little extra stride. Up to number 4 there. Just working to keep it all nice and together. Nice 7 up there, 5 strides, very balanced. Looks like he's going to call it a day there. Jumped to a lovely first phase and
again using that opportunity. It's the first outing for these 5-star horses, getting used to the arena, getting used to the lights as the sun is setting here in Doha. And again, big week ahead. We maybe might touch on that leaderboard. Will the 5-star rider Scott Brash is very much in the lead. He's had a fantastic last 3 weeks part of this series.
Absolutely, it's just been incredible to watch. He's, in my opinion, one of the best winners there's ever been in jumping. He just always manages to find that tiny, slight part of a second where he can just edge in front. And when he's on a roll like this, we've seen this when he gets on a roll like this, he's got 4 phenomenal horses. They're all here, all firing. It's just almost impossible to stop.
Well, let's see if the German rider Torben Kronbrandt and HK Carrera set to go as the 4 partnership starting his round next.
Having a slightly up tempo compared to the last few horses. Looking nice and easy everywhere. Up that distance, and that one a little bit short, keeping it nice and balanced round over this double. Nine up there, just balanced here. Will he take one less here? Keeps on the even stride, keeping it nice and smooth, a little bit faster than the others, but hasn't taken so many crazy risks. It's still keeping enough in the horse's tank for the rest of the week.
Well, over that finish line, and we have a new leader. Good 4 seconds, nearly 5 seconds in fact, taking off what was the leading time. Germany's Torben Kronbrandt into the lead, 31.24. That is a good standard, but I think we can take another couple of seconds off that.
You'd think so, but it's there as a nice, smooth, efficient round where I think you pick up a little bit of money at the end of the order.
Well, we go now to the hometown hero. A cool, patient riding style of Basim Mohammed, and he goes with this gelding Isam. It was a 4th-place finish earlier in the 140 part of that 4-star jumping, the first for the home nation, Qatar's Basim Mohammed.
Yes, and there's a new horse for Basim. Unfortunately, with the first fence down, not the ideal start, but this horse has jumped some great rounds with Adam Grigowski. Apologies for can't pronounce the name so well, but it's been a really good horse for him for so many years, and it's Basim will take this horse. He's a big jumper. He's got so much scope, and I'm sure with time he'd take, as it does with new partnerships, it'll take a little bit of time to get to going, but I'm sure he'll go on and do some very big things.
Well, it's coming to the last of this first phase with the 4 false and curd. That means he will be belled out for a rider that will be one to watch with the support of the home crowd later this week. So 4 false for Basim Mohammed and Isam Qatar. Well, we have 53 entered into it. We will take a break at the halfway point of this competition as we proceed to the 6th partnership to come forward. Well, we go now to Juan Carlos Garcia, the Django du Marquet. This gelding is set to go. It's by Canaan out of a Papillon Rouge dam. 6 to go for Italy. Well, not forgetting that later on tonight we have the 2nd of the 5-star jumping, the 1st of the Longines ranking competitions. €106,000 of a prize fund in that.
And Juan Carlos, little bit long to that one. You just have to get it back together before this water straight. He got it back nicely. But he's been clearing 150 last week. He's had a good tour so far. A lot smoother. The horse is back in rhythm again, back down to this double. Just giving it a little bit of time back round to the oxer. A little extra stride up to the double.
The leading time of 31.24. It's not in contention to take that top spot, but a strong performance, but also exceeds that time allowed. That's the 2nd one here today. 36 seconds is what is set for the time allowed in the 2nd phase. Juan Carlos Garcia, just the 2-time penalties, 37.93.
Yeah, and a nice round there again. You know, many riders will use this class just to make sure the horses are ready, but that's not saying we won't see a lot of action when the next rider comes into the ring.
Well, this is one to watch for the next 3 days, or the final of this. His Highness the Father Amir's Prix comes to a conclusion this week. Abdullah Alshaqab, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, rider within the top 50. He had the perfect start by winning the opening 4-star speed challenge in week 1. Completed a hat-trick of wins last week, including the 5-star 150 speed challenge, the 150 special 2 phase. But this time he rides Valentino.
And another new ride in this class already, actually a former ride of Scott Brash's, and a horse that did very well with Scott, and I'm sure Abdullah will be happy to have in spring, just for a bit of a funny jump over that one. That was a bit nicer. Seemed to have settled a bit more over these 2 jumps, but no, this is a big jumping horse. He's jumped some very big Grand Prix. Did have a nice result with Abdullah in the first 2-star Grand Prix. And we've got the motors turned up a bit, turning back to the oxer. Easy 9 there. We get the 7 up here. Keeps it on the outside 8, turns back.
Well, the clock stops at, well, we're just waiting for our timekeeper to adjust that. There we go, gets the pulse, it's 30.27. We have a new leader, Abdullah Alshaqab, clear, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
And a very good round, kept it again nice and efficient after a little bit of a mishap at fence 2, and then yeah, jumped super after that. Everything was in a nice rhythm and kept it nice and tight, and yeah, Abdullah's always likes to have a bit of a go against the clock, so that was a good start.
Well, as always, the finest of margins within our sport, 30.27. That's the leading time. That pushes Tona Klombrand for Germany into second and third. Nadia Peter-Steiner for Switzerland, 35.64. That's the top three at the moment. We go to a man that has been in great form over the last number of weeks. A fourth place finish in the 145 in week one. Then was the second place on the podium with the three-star two-phase competition just 2 weeks ago also. He's the lead rider of the Watan group, and he goes with Watman Kawalinski, this gelding, riding this for the home nation, the state of Qatar, Fela Suid Al-Ajami.
And over the first full fence very nicely. Fala's spent a lot of time jumping in America this last summer, picking up a nice few placings out there as well.
Yeah, and that win at the Hampton Classic, that really was a career solidifying moment for him. Interesting to see how he happens, or how he goes on this week.
Absolutely, and another one just taking this second phase a little bit easier on the horses. It looks like he's just trying to get the ride back to how he wants it before, I'm sure, jumping some bigger classes, but with some good international wins under his belt, I'm sure there'll be plenty of good placings this week. Just got a little bit close to that second fence. Second last fence even.
Well, the knockdown at the penultimate fence is unlucky, and that is a total of 6, then 4 for jumping. Exceeds the time allowed also, 2 for time, a total of 6 for Fela Suid Al-Ajami and Watman Kawalinski. Well, earlier today we've already had the Star-Spangled Banner, the USA's national anthem, played here in the Longines Arena of Alshaqab. Will it be another win for this rider? The 9th to go, riding Starbucks, this gelding by Staccato. Well, it's Kirsten van der Veen. She was the winner of the two-phase special, or 135, the very first competition of the week. Let's see if she can keep things going in a positive manner in this first 5-star class.
Absolutely, it was a great win earlier. Really nice and quick and smooth round. So this is only a second week here, and she started off last week jumping a lot of clears. But it's looking like she's wanting to up it a bit this week, a bit more competitive, as she showed with a very good win to start.
Some of the challenges when you were walking the course, are they living up to your expectation?
I'd say it's going very nicely. The course builder, Peter Jumache, he doesn't want to overdo it. Today it's more about trying to get the horses together, but we're having a little bit of a go here. Nice turn back, lovely and smooth. One less into this double, got the 8. Will she get 7 up here? Easy 7 and on the turn, lovely turn back. Keeps hold of the outside rein. Great stride to this vertical.
We're in contention, we're very much in contention. She leaves the last one standing. A good 2 seconds taken off the leading time, 28.08. Kirsten van der Veen for the United States of America in pole position once again. Will she retain that? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Stick around as we continue in this two-phase 140.
That was a great round, so smooth. She had a couple of less strides back round to the first fence in the jump off, which is a place you definitely can take some time off, and then a turn back after taking 1 stride out of the double. Landed on the left-hand side after 11, kept it tight, lovely, nice and smooth, and it was a super round there.
It will be interesting to see if you can do much more than that with the turns, the strides, maybe slightly with the pace. It was very, very tight in the previous competition. It will come down to the milliseconds, but this rider, well, she is certainly up to the task. She's fastly moving up within the top 150 of the riders. She is the medal machine. She has 11 European Championship medals across pony, children, junior and young rider levels, including an individual gold in 2017, riding Quick de Montéjor. This is Great Britain's Millie Allen, an absolute superstar, Will.
Absolutely, and you know, this horse is super quick against the clock. If she decides to let the handbrake off for this second phase, it would be really interesting to see if she can get that leading time of Kristen's. But no, Millie is, and it's been great what Millie's done over the past couple of years, become the main rider at Carol Cox's, and she has delivered with so much talent that she has, and a little bit close in there, and she's tight back to this Oxer. She had to get one extra stride up there. This one doesn't have such a big a stride as Kirsten. But she got the 7, nice air. This is a very quick moving horse, can always be deceptively fast.
Well, it's going to be close. 28.08, that's the time to beat. Over that by 0.79, a quick round for Millie Allen. Great Britain now into second place. Just ever so slightly behind that time of Kristen's.
I'd say it was a super round from Millie. She had a couple of extra strides there that didn't make her catch the leading time of Kristen's, but it was a lovely round and she'd be very pleased with that.
Well, we continue on now to the 11th partnership. A reminder, 53 entered into this, 17 different nations represented. First of the 5-star jumping, we turned attention now to the Longines Global Championship 2024 overall champion. Representing Austria, this is Max Kuhner and Eric Cooley jump the queue. An Irish sport horse by Pacino.
Yeah, this is a lovely horse. It's won the World Cup in London when we were watching there, jumped absolutely super round. Great jump off, it was absolutely textbook, and it's been placed in the Grand Prix here. He's brought it here with the full intent of being placed in some of the big Grand Prix and hopefully knocking Scott off of his podium.
His dominance of this series.
But this man can definitely challenge him. He's always a very consistent rider, produced so many horses, he's works week in, week out, and it has provided some great moments over the time.
Well, looking like he is deciding to retire, and there we go, that's the very clear signal to the ground jury. Max Kuhner has decided to retire. Again, one of the riders taking this opportunity in the first 5-star to get a little bit of experience with the horse in the arena. Even though they were jumping over the last couple of weeks, well, tonight is an opportunity to just get that feeling back once again.
Absolutely, especially you'll see the horses that jumped the Grand Prix last week. It's hard for top horses to jump big class after big class, and if they've gone the jump the Grand Prix as it was placed last week, you want to just give them a little bit of an easier class, get the confidence and make sure that everything's ticking over how you want it.
Well, next we go to Portugal to watch Zebre, man that rejoins us here in Qatar. He was jumping last year. He takes the opportunity, like a number of our riders, to now jump in the winter season in Doha. He rides Dorados and was placed 3rd in the 160 Grand Prix, part of this series.
And this has been a great servant of Duarte's for a long time. This lovely horse that has so much scope and ability. Just taking over the first few fences again, just taking the pressure off a little bit, trying to make the horses find the job easy as they can, and you know, for the horses as talented as the ones we get in this class, it can be. But no, lovely start to the week there for Duarte. Looks again another one that's going to take their opportunity to retire.
Yeah, again, he raises his hand also, and that means he will retire. And Los Dorados. So, Kirsten van der Veen leading it for the USA, Millie Allen in second, and third is Abdullah Alshaqab leading times there, 28.08, 28.87, and 30.27. And then fourth, Torun Korablant, and fifth, Nadia Peterstein, and sixth, Juan Carlos Garcia. So that's the top six as they stand, but it's very early stages still. We still have plenty to get through here tonight with one more 5-star after this competition as well. Approximate start time of that is 7:45. But for now, we turn our attention to Italy's Emanuele Camali. He goes with Chacareno PS, this gelding. That's 11 years old. It's a son of Chaco Blue.
And this horse is a very, very big jumper. Jumps great rounds in the Nations Cups in the summer. Jumps a great clear in the Super Grand Prix at Prague. It is a very, very talented horse. Although relatively inexperienced at 5-star level, just stepped up last year. But it is one that does seem to make the size of the fences look particularly easy. But he's got a very good string of horses here this week, does Manuel? Yeah, 3 top horses that you can choose from and pick his classes, and you see, like with Scott and how well he's done, when you have a few top horses to choose from, it does make it a lot easier for the horses and riders, especially for a long tour with so much amazing prize money up for grabs.
Well, getting experience on a stage and a setting like this is certainly one way to advance your 5-star horses.
Absolutely, and I'm sure, you know, one of the 3 horses Emanuele has here will be on the radar for the World Games. This is a great place to bring them to get that experience and jump some great clear rounds in some big classes. Another one just to take it nice and easy, get everything in check, and you won't be surprised to see this one in the Grand Prix lineup by the end of the week.
Well, he's in over that time allowed, but as you say, well, that's a steady round of purpose steady round. Over that time allowed of 36 seconds. Just the 5-time penalties, 40.18 clear jump with Emanuele Camali, with the next partnership joining us, and that's for the United States of America. Let's see if she can knock her fellow country, our nation representative Kirsten van der Veen off the top spot. Well, in the overall 4 5-star ranking part of the series here, Eve Jobs goes next, and she is in second place over that leaderboard behind Scott Brash with 95 points, Scott Brash with 114. She's a rider that is starting to move her career over to Europe. She's ranked within the top 100. That major breakthrough in the senior stage of the Pan American Games in 2019, but she's continued to go from strength to strength. Well, she rides Canadillo.
Absolutely, she's been doing fantastic at this tour. 3 placings in the 5-star Grand Prix with a podium finish in 1. She's absolutely earned her spot in and second, and this isn't the one she's jumped in the Grand Prix. It's actually a former horse of her husband Harry's, who did very well on this during the summer, and Eve's taken it over, and it's jumped some nice rounds as well. Everything's looking very level together. She's a very stylish rider. Got great hands, she never seems to move, and gives the horses time off the floor. Another one just going round to this second last fence, but she'd be very pleased with this round to start off the week.
Well, over the last fence goes Nice round for Eve Jobs into rank 6th with the 2 time penalties. So in fact we have just the 5 clears so far. Still plenty to go here in the first ever 5-star jumping, height of 1m40 out 2 phase competition. So to Great Britain, and we go to Harry Charles, rides this gelding, part of the Olympic team 2024. What a performance there. He had a dominance in the under 25s and was the world #1 within the under 25 FEI rankings for over 3 consecutive years. He rides Sherlock, Belgian warm blood gelding, has the 16th to step forward. Harry Charles, Great Britain.
Another one. This horse has been a partner of Harry's for a few years now and has so many great results. Second in the Monaco Grand Prix, won the London Global Grand Prix in spectacular fashion, and you'd be surprised to see him take the handbrake off with this one. And it's a very talented horse. They're both, him and Harry have a great connection. Jumped the first few fences really nice and easy. As always, Harry's keeping himself position all very good, very neat, and Sherlock's responding very well.
Looks like he's opted for that slower, steady pace as well. He'll be calculated in this first 5-star.
Absolutely, and Harry has a couple of good horses here, but you would not be surprised at all to see this one in the Grand Prix, as we all know it's very capable of winning very big 5-star Grand Prix.
Well, looks like we'll exceed the time allowed, and we are into time as he crosses that finish line. Remains up, it's just the 3 for time then for Great Britain's Harry Charles Sherlock. So we continue on here in the Longines Arena of Alshaqab as the sun is setting and the glistening lights are shining down on crowds gathering here to watch a spectacle and thrilling sport of evening of entertainment. We go to a French rider, rising star of the French team and Scandinavian Vikings GCL rider. She was already a winner here today as the French national anthem rung out as the winner for the 3-star 2-phase 1m40 competition. One to watch is Lara Triba. She goes, this mare that's 11 years old is by my Lord Carthago. It's Catania.
Yeah, super winner in the last class there. Very nice and smooth round. This big jumping grey horse keeping it nice and together. But she's got a super string of horses now. George, Shotgun, Falco. It's a really good opportunity for her to step up and out in this tour and jump some big Grand Prix, which she has been doing in the global tours, but a few of them are new to her, and there's no better place to be to bring those horses on and create that connection.
Well, deciding to retire there, Lara Triba and Catania. Already a winner here today, as we say, and just deciding to save her mare for later. Well, we have another 10 to go before we have an arena minutes break. That will be at the halfway point of the first 5-star class of the week. 3 days of action to conclude His Highness the Father Amir's Prix of 2026, part of this Doha Equestrian Tour. Attention turns to the Spanish riders. We remain with the European riders joining us. This is Sierra Martinez Cuellar, Piper Van Vergas, this mare that's 11 years old by Peppermill, Spanish young rider champion just a number of years ago. and started the 2026 with a brilliant top 10 performance in the 2-star Grand Prix here at Doha.
And Sarah's a really good up-and-coming Spanish rider. Again, very stylish. She's had a top 10 finish in a 4-star Grand Prix out in Sunshine Tour. She has proved herself to jump some very big classes. This horse was clear and placed in the 3-star Grand Prix last week. Ridden a very nice round so far, and she's calling it a day.
Well, another rider deciding to retire, and well, I guess we can just continue to put this down to them wanting to get experience.
Absolutely, they just want to get the horses in the ring, give them a nice easy trip. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Well, we go on to a man that's had a good performance in the previous class, number of double clears. Goes now representing Germany, Philipp Weishaupt. This is the 19th to step forward here, and riding Oreo Dior Stallion. It's a son of Canaan, and it's 12 years old, so good experience for both horse and rider for Germany.
Yeah, Philip obviously has had some great success over the years on so many different horses. This one is very unlucky not to win the Grand Prix on the second week. Jumped a great round there, and this horse has been very consistent in the global tours last year. Another one that he's been using in the Grand Prix here. Might not be one that you'd expect him to go so fast against the clock, and even here he's just keeping the horse nice and relaxed. Got a couple of extra strides up there, and they're just keeping the horse back up on its hogs. Might be the first one over the time allowed in this first phase.
Yeah, the bell goes there. It's 3 seconds, 3 time penalties in the first phase for Philipp Weishaupt and Oreo Dior Germany. He won't be too worried about that. He'll be looking at the steady pace, and even if he didn't pick up the time penalties, I'm sure he was going to retire.
Absolutely. The horse looked like he's jumping really well there, and one that I'm sure will be ended up in the Grand Prix on Saturday.
Well, we continue on now. Returning to the French riders, and with this Pruner Tame, the stallion, it's by Conrad. We go to Megan Osuye. This is the 20th to step forward.
Yeah, Megan, a very upcoming rider who's had some absolutely wonderful results in this past year. This horse especially is jumped in on some big 5-star Grand Prix, and she has delivered on plenty of occasions. She was 4th in the Barcelona Grand Prix and won a big Grand Prix at Bourg-en-Bresse in her own country. Again, just trying to keep this one nice and easy. Not applying too much pressure. But she's carrying on, just taking it a little bit wider. And just ran up a little bit close down that distance. It is a bit of an outside 8 or a short 7. Just let it get a little bit close, but she's not going so quick against the clock, so she won't be too disappointed with that.
Well, over that time allowed again, it's in fact a total of 7 there. So 4 for jumping and 3 for time, 38.67. Megan Monsignor and Bruno Tame. Well, we go to Germany again. A very talented lady at the height and the top of her game. Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann. Well, she is the reigning recipient of His Highness the Emir's sword. And she'll be back in February, no doubt, to defend that title. She rides the stallion at 11 years old by Colossus. It's Kaleogon Cassius. Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann, Germany.
This horse put in a really good performance last week, 4th in the Grand Prix. Jump super there. Lovely stamp of a stallion. Big stride there, just took a stride out, and she's just going very wide here just to get the horse back together. Again, a little bit forward. But got it together and gave that one a foot.
Well, she's a 2-time Olympian, but also a World Equestrian Games participant. How many of these riders will have their sights on World Equestrian Games and planning for the year ahead? Because early days so far in 2026.
Absolutely, but it's every rider's dream to go to the championships, especially this year in Aachen. Such a historic place that there's been some great world championships over the years there, and this horse looks like it has all the scope and ability that it would need to go and skip around the championship courses there.
Well, that's a total of 8 time penalties, 61.62 in the first phase, with the time allowed 54. So very much taking it easy. Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann and Leon Kashkai for Germany. So it's 6 or 7 there left before we will take an arena maintenance break, and we return to Egypt. It's Mustafa Said and LVPZ. So getting underway, and Egypt's building a strong team again. There's a number of Egyptian riders here, even in the previous 3 and 4 star, that are continuing to impress, but some of them are actually based here in Doha, in Alshaqab, with the wonderful equestrian training facilities.
What a place to be based when you have this to come to every day. There's no way the horses can't get better. It's just such a first week here, but it's such a phenomenal stadium with so many facilities.
I think even you and I would like to move here with the weather, the facilities. It has pretty much everything.
Absolutely. No, it is a brilliant place, and Doha, been into the town, lovely. But they're just ended up a bit close at the Oxa there, and he's decided to call it a day before the double.
Yeah, no need to put any extra stress or strain, especially when this is a relaxed introduction to the 5-star level. So deciding to retire that was Mustafa Said and Kalilup LVPZ. So we continue now and to Khaled Al-Mabaithi. This is a rider representing the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and that's a team that are very much growing from strength to strength. It's one of the top ranked riders within the world, and he goes with Space Cake, this beautiful mare owned by the Saudi Arabian Equestrian Federation. That really is a team that has continued to grow, similar to the UAE team, the Qatari team, but the Saudi Arabian team also continued to grow on the international stage. Well,
absolutely, and I think that everyone will be looking at them with their incredible bronze medal in London 2012 that we all remember. That was a fantastic achievement for the whole federation there. Just a little bit closer, number 3 there, but this horse has jumped some brilliant rounds over the years, and a former rider of Ellen Whittaker who produced this one up to 5-star level before Khaled has taken over the reins. Just looking a little bit hot here in this first phase, but still has plenty more of the week to go.
So it is 4 faults there for Khaled Al-Mabithi and Space Cake for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The first phase was the one knockdown fence number 3, that front rail goes, but we continue with the riders representing Saudi Arabia. Next in Abdullah Rahman Al-Raji and Ventigo, this gelding also owned by the Saudi Arabian Equestrian Federation. Part of that Olympic team, but Asian Gold also recipient 2022 and holds the team silver medal from the 2014 Asian Games. Age when he was just 19. He's a World Cup veteran, represented Saudi Arabia at Paris and Omaha. He's plenty of experience. Again, one of these riders to watch.
Yeah, this horse has got so much scope, has a massive stride, and one of those that just gets the back bars easy. Had a great result last week, 2nd in the Grand Prix. So you'll be thinking just to keep this one together before this week's Grand Prix as well. Jumping this course very nice and easy. Keeping it a bit wide down here, but jumps it onto very nicely. And now deciding to call it a day after a very good start to the round.
Well, especially as he's towards that pocket and happy enough with his round. He is going to retire. Don't think the grand jury has seen it yet, so they're still letting the clock run on. There we go, officially confirmed. So retiring Abdullah Rahman Al-Raji and then to go. 3 left to go before we have that arena maintenance break. Great surface you were out there, Will. You walked the conditions, the sand, the surface, everything. It's amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal. It's some of the best ground you'd see anywhere in the world. It's probably a little bit, it's how I prefer it. It's a little bit softer than sometimes you see, and I think it just helps the horses so much for so many weeks of jumping. To jump on I think you literally could not get a better surface here to compete on for 10 weeks straight. It is absolutely perfect, and in a stadium like this and the lights that show barely to any shadows, it is quite incredible.
Well, this man has jumped on this surface more than probably most, as he is one for the home nation, Mohammed Khalifa Al Bakr and Durkan. He placed 3rd in the 2-phase 140 earlier to last week, this day last week, and also 3rd in the accumulator on Saturday.
Just had a little rub at those last 2 fences. You'd think he might be one to have a go against the clock after a few good placings in his turn, and he's setting off. Lovely stride back to the oxer there. Can he move up on 9 there, a little bit in the hand. And then 8 there. Turning back towards the second last, he's moving across here. Just settles it there.
Time to beat of 28.08. Can he do it for the home crowd? It's over slightly, over about 3/4 of a second, and into rank 3rd with that time, 28.91. That's a great round for the home nation, state of Qatar. Mohammed Khalifa Al Bakr, he'll be pleased with that.
Absolutely, and he should be. It was a really nice round, and his turnbacks to the vertical and the octa there were superb, and that put him in a really nice position there to take home some money.
So we are approaching the halfway point of the competition, and the attention now turns as we go all the way to Australia, between the tops Alexander Fallow Castle Field. This 16-year-old gelding is the son of Jotem Flamenco. There's a 27 partnership to come forward. Probably one again that will be going for the cool, calm, collected approach here. Will he a wee bit of experience with the 5-star horse? Will?
Absolutely, this horse has been a Grand Prix winner in the Global Tour at Madrid a couple of years ago and second in Shanghai. It knows its way around, it knows the job. It's been a great serve for Edwina after you bought the horse. It's a very, very nice one. But she's had some really good form across this tour as she does wherever she goes. Making that line look nice and easy. Keeps going, jumps up very nicely, getting it back together on the extra stride. Giving the horse time through there on the outside line here.
Well, she's certainly shown consistency on this tour, and she crosses that finish line into rank 6th at the moment. Edwina tops Alexander, 33.72 clear, Australia. Well, the precision, the speed, not quite there, trying to aim for the top spot, but still into rank 6, but certainly was precise. We will continue to the final before we take a break, and that's to Jane Annette. This gelding is 11 years old. Jiwan.
Yeah, this horse, a very big horse, plenty of step, plenty of scope, has jumped some really good rounds in some big Grand Prix. Jane has two lovely horses jumping at this level with this horse Joanna and Impala that came here last year and both jumped some great rounds and had some super results.
She's based from West Sussex, I believe, Will.
Yep.
And certainly one to be part of the Nations Cup teams previously and going forward.
Absolutely, and she has a lovely stable there in Sussex, near Hickston. Super facilities there to keep the horses training in top condition.
Well, she has described Hickston as her lucky venue. Previous winner of the Queen Elizabeth II Cup, and especially when it's on her doorstep.
It's been a very good ship. Just had one down in it this year on this horse in the King's Cup. And this one will be, I'm sure, will be used in some Nations Cups, as it does not find the size of the fences overly difficult.
Well, to the last fence and over the time allowed, a steady pace there, and 39.14 means 4-time penalties for Jane Annette and G1 for Great Britain. Well, that concludes the first half of the competition, and we will be back with you for the second half in just under 7 minutes' time. Welcome back to the second half of the first of the five-star jumping here at Alshaqab, the Longines Outdoor Arena, part of the Doha Equestrian Tour, the final week of His Highness the Father Amir's Prix. In the lead at the moment, Kristen van der Veen for the USA, and 28.08 is the time to beat. Second is Great Britain's Millie Allen, 28.87 with third. Mohammed Khalifa Al Bakr for the home nation, 28.91 for the state of Qatar. Fourth, Abdullah Al Shabatari, fifth, Colbert, and sixth is Edwina Tops Alexander. That is the top six at the moment, with a total of 7 double clears today. Many of our riders are just using it for experience. If you have just joined us, Salam Alaikum, a very good evening from the capital of Qatar. Joining me in the commentary box, Will Fletcher, with the first one to get us back underway, Roberto Privitali and Qashqai SB. He's had a good run out here, including winning the second of the five-star classes here last week.
Just running up a little bit close there to the water tray, but no, he's been in good form. Part of the few of the Italian riders out here, all very competitive in their own right.
He, like a number of riders, part of the Carabinieri, I can never say that word, but the elite of the Italian police force, and they represent Italy so well across the world.
And he started this jump off nice, 8 strides around the corner to the octa, but he gets a little bit of an extra one there, turning back tight. Might just be off the leaders, but still a very good round nonetheless.
When they jump, they certainly mean business, that team. It's into rank 4, 29.84, Roberto Privitali for Italia. It's a clear round into 4th place. Well, that means that pushes Edwina Tops Alexander out of the top 6 contention, with Kirsten van der Veen's time proving very difficult to beat. 28.08 remains our time as we continue to partnership number 30. Daughter of Chaco Blue. This is Stardust, a 16-year-old mare that's riding this for Great Britain's Sienna Charles.
Sienna's been in really good form, had some very good placings in the 150s and 155s so far, and this horse, a former winner at Olympia in the World Cup with her brother Harry, and she's taken over the ride and done expertly since. Some great performances in some Nations Cups, and has been a great partner for her over the past couple of years. Everything looking nice and easy for her to start this round off. And another one that I'm sure has some big plans for the rest of the week.
Well, some big classes coming up the rest of the week, including a 6-bar challenge tomorrow night, approximately halfway at start time for that, but it's the Saturday of which the main attention will turn to. I'll give you a quick rundown of that in just a moment. Exceeds the time allowed, in fact 2 time penalties, with 38.20 there for Sienna Charles Stardust. Well, Tanasu Kelali, and consistent competitor, part of the Jordanian team, World Cup Arab League regular. He has competed over the last number of weeks here in Qatar, in Doha, part of the series. He rides this gelding that is 11 years old, is Camacho PS for Jordan. So the Saturday, which for some of our international viewers, it's a show Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That is because here in Qatar, Friday and Saturday would be considered in the Western world Saturday, Sunday. That is the weekend here. So we conclude the jumping on Saturday night with the €650,000 5-star 160 Longines ranking competition. Of course, it's a huge spectacle. We're so looking forward to it. But before that is a 3-star 150 Grand Prix, also with a prize fund of €106,000. That will be where all attention turns to, with plenty of jumping in between now and then, as we have Nasu Kiali jumping now.
Yeah, and some really good classes, again with so much prize money on offer. You understand why a few of these riders have taken this class a little bit easier. But Nasu is turning up a bit to this Oxa. Hopefully we see a nice competitive round. Road nice and level there. Just the 8 up there. But just taking the long route round to the second last.
Clears that one, and in under the time lead there, 35.90. Top 9 performance at the moment for Jordan's Nasu Kiali Camcho PS. That is what provides us with the 9th double clear. So just in under that time allowed of 36 seconds by 1/10 of a second. In fact, Nasu Kiali Camcho perfectly timed. So we go to the next partnership, and one of 2 South African riders representing here, part of the 5-star show. This is Oliver Lazarus. He jumped here last year. He's one of the riders that returns, like so many of them, as we've already discussed, to take advantage of the hospitality of the venue, of the sunshine, and escape some of the treacherous weather back in Europe. And Oliver travels here with the stallion that is 9 years old. He goes with Heatwave.
Yeah, and as the tour's expanding and there's more people coming, you can see we'll definitely be seeing a lot more top riders returning year after year, enjoying these wonderful facilities. So starting off his round really nicely, but Ollie himself has had some great form last year, a winner of the big Grand Prix in Guillaume, as well as picking up some good form last week in the Grand Prix and the 150s, but just an unlucky fault there. Nothing overly wrong, just dropped a toe on it, just to pick up 4 faults going through the finish.
Well, I don't think the grand jury has quite clocked on to that as we continue into across fence number 10.
Yeah, anyway, as we've seen a lot of riders use the time, he'll probably take these 3-5 jumps just to make sure this one's only 9 years old, jumping good classes, to use it to his advantage, even if it will be taken off him sooner rather than later.
While over the time allowed there is, it is in fact, I believe the grand jury has now adjusted that, so it is 4 faults. So 4 faults for Ollie Lazarus and riding Heat Wave. Well, we go to Wilma Hellstrom, and she's based at Oliver Lazarus Stables. She's now based in the Netherlands, and a previous European team champion. She won that gold in 2023 in the Europeans in Milan, World Cup finalist, and had multiple success at national level. She's in good form this series, a top 9 performance in the Grand Prix in week number 2. She goes riding CSI5, this wonderful mare, Wilma Hellstrom, Sweden.
Absolutely, this horse has been a great partner for Wilma here, and at plenty of other shows, jumped some great rounds, placed in a few of the big 5-star Grand Prix at the Nations Cup shows, and part of the championship team for the past couple of years. And although only has one eye, it does not let it down at all. Still lovely and even, the shape's very good. Just got some bandages on today, probably indicating another one that's not going to be taking this too quick, and she has 2 time faults anyway, so.
Well, that's the end of her round then. There's a nice steady pace, resulting in 2 time penalties in the first phase. Here's your correction, Wilma Hellstrom and CCBGN. Well, 20 remain now in this 1:45 start, 2-phase special. Pleasure to have you along with us wherever you may be joining us. And Corina Blue is a mare that is a daughter of Chaco Blue. Alessandro Dam riding this for Brazil, part of a number of riders from Brazil. Here is Sergio Nupperman Jr. So off we go for this rider as the 34th to go. And a reminder of our time to beat, but not too many going for it. We wouldn't mind seeing somebody trying to go for it at this point. Well, just to create a little bit of sport. I know it's an opportunity for them to jump and get experience, but we do have a crowd to please as well.
Absolutely, you know, it is a hard one. You've got to do what's best for your horse though, and even if it doesn't mean we're getting the most exciting sport in this class, I'm sure the next class will be very good and competitive, with the prize money whacked up and the jumps as well.
Well, I guess for us as well, like, I mean, it is good to have a look at some of the movement, the flow, the technique, the rhythm. I mean, okay, it's not as competitive as anything, but really just to see even the partnerships and the connections that they have with some of these horses as they go around such a big arena.
Absolutely, there's such a big arena. The jumps, obviously, they have different ones, but you can see them, how the riders use these rounds, and see a bit more about their training and how they do it. They keep the pace up if they want to just make sure the horse is nice and supple through its back, and just try and get a little bit of more bend around the corner. You can just use these, you know, the long corners to make sure that you're together with the horse and make sure everything's all okay.
Well, over the time allowed there, so 3 time penalties, just 38-36. Brazil, Sergio Nupperman Jr., Corina Blue. Well, this is part of His Highness the Father Amir's series. His Highness Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, who served as the Emir of Qatar from 1995 to 2013, and he voluntarily, or he was the architect of the Qatar's modern revival, and is always honoured here with the sword, with the expansion of this series as we continue. One I'm very much going to hand over to you as a family affair. It's Ollie Fletcher now, brother of yours, Will, and Casanova 1 BVLZ. The stallion is 10 years old. Hopefully he won't mind you critiquing his round too much, really.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be a lot harder than him off the commentary. No, but this is a really exciting one for him. He's very excited. I've had to endure him waxing lyrical about this one over the past few weeks, with it jumping a super round just for a time fault in the 155 in its 5-star debut. But hopefully, if it keeps jumping the way it's been jumping the past few weeks, he'll be using this in the 5-star Grand Prix this week. But it's a new one for him. Only came out to the show, the former ride of James Winter, who did a very good job producing him from when it was 3 years old to when Ollie took over the reins. But just a bit of a miscommunication there. Give him a little pad and come round again.
Oh, he's just very gentle, just going to re-steady, reconfigure, back in, to that related distance. The ox are down to the vertical.
Just got an extra stride in there as well. And finished off very nicely.
Yeah, number of faults there. It's mainly time faults. Total of 28 just with that refusal. Ollie Fletcher, Casanova 1, BVLZ. Gives it a nice pat, and rightly so. He's happy with that performance. It's just the refusal. One to watch going forward, as many of these riders, 5-star level, will provide us with the high stakes entertainment for the week ahead. And we go 2-1 for the home nation. Well, Qatar currently holds third. Mohammed Khalifa Al Bakr and 28.91. Let's see if we can get another one of these home nation riders into the top 6. He rides Wathan Zodiac gelding. He's 11 years old. This son of Fidel Zarocco Blue, Qatar's Khalid Mohammed Al Emmari.
And a horse he's only ridden twice, and unfortunately just a little bit close there at fence 2. A former ride of Richard Howley's, where has won some big 5-star Grand Prix and jumped some great rounds. But they're just getting used to this very new partnership. Only jumped twice, as we said. Looking a little bit keen, but this horse does have oodles of talent that I'm sure over time it will come to right and come together. But no, just another unfortunate fence there. Again, is just getting a little bit keen through that round, but it's only the start of what's hopefully will be a very promising partnership.
Well, one to keep an eye on for the rest of the week with that partnership, but also for the year ahead. It's early in the season. The season just never really ends anymore, as we're jumping now here in the beautiful sunshine, or under the lights of the warm weather of Doha. Many of the opportunities, or many of the riders, will jump from continuously nearly now. There's no such break within the season. Well,
absolutely. Sometimes that is a little bit hard on the horses, where they are animals, but most of the best riders will manage to find a couple of weeks to months break that they can rest and get their body back together. But when they're feeling great and in the form that some of them are, you have the opportunity to come out to places like this, or get to do the World Cup events in the late winter. They're great shows all the way around the year, and we're very lucky as a sport. We have so many events, and there's so many riders and combinations that can do that now.
Well, on course is Easy Boy Lamont, this stallion. It's son of my Lord Carthago, and riding this is France's CSI5.
Yeah, and all good so far. Cutting in a little bit to this double. Set up a little bit of an inside line. 8 strides around the corner. But just keeps it in the hand up to this double. A little bit on the outside to 8, but comes inside, looking to pick up a placing, but don't think will quite be challenging for the top spot.
Good push over the final fence, light rattle of the back pole. Well, the clear round music goes, and 30.42 into rank 6th for the French lady. That's a good performance for Serene Shai from Easy Boy de Lamont.
Yeah, lovely round there, kept tight, efficient, but keeps again not pushing it so much that you have plenty left to go for the rest of the week.
Well, the end could be in sight here. We are entering into the final 15, which the United States is Kirsten van der Veen in the lead. A reminder, if you didn't see that round, she was already a winner here today, and she's back in that top podium position. Many of her riders using this opportunity to school. 28.08 her time to beat. We go to the state of Qatar's Ghanem Nasser Al-Qaidi. He rides ISIS.
Yeah, and Ghanem has had some very good placings on the tour already. another Qatari rider that does have the luxury of the facilities here in Doha. A little bit close to the ox there, but the horse backs off and just shaking his head a fraction, not completely accepting the contact. But jumps that double very nice, and he's inside now. But just ended up a fraction too close, not meaning.
Yeah. And I was going to say this could be a contender when he took that really tight turn from the end of the first phase into the fence number 9. But as you say, it didn't pay off, and then just the composure completely lost going into that double one.
Absolutely, he turned up tight, and yes, you got to go good line and be competitive, and it just flicked off the back bar with the front rail, with the front feet. And when you have a plan, it's really hard to not go on it. So you're told it's probably to take a stride out there, but you've had a fence down, you've landed a little bit steep. That's where you just need to think, right, we've already had a fence down, let's try and organise it. And it just, a little bit of a miscommunication, it's very easily done.
Well, didn't go to plan, and in fact he has decided to jump fence number 1. That's an indication to the ground jury that Ghanem Nasser Al-Qaidi has decided to retire ISIS. Well, next rider that has a good performance here today already, Marlon Mondolo Zanotelli. This is Toulon, a gelding, a son of Toulon. And he's been having a wonderful performance. He was top 10 in last week's second 5-star competition, 4th in the 3-star on Friday, the height of 145, top 5 in the 5-star jump off on Friday also. He means business, as he also placed 5th in the second 3-star competition here today for Brazil.
And Marlon's a super rider, obviously, he's super stylish, everything he does very good, but unfortunately just came out a little bit lethargic, just rolled over the first one and the second one, but has picked up a bit more now and jumped the last few fences very nicely. Just rolled over that one again. Hopefully see a nice reaction coming to this double. Use its shoulder to come up.
Yeah, the bell goes there, so 4 for jumping, 2 for time. The time 55.83 as we proceed next. And return back to the state of Qatar with Rashid Ali Al-Mari, which owned this mare by Deauville TNL, owned by the Qatar Equestrian Federation, like a number of the Qatari riders, supported directly by the Federation, by the Qatar Olympic Committee, who also supports the show here. This is run like an amazing show, but it's also part of the global outreach and vision for Qatar, and also to support some of these riders, providing them with a 5-star stage. As we go to Rashid.
And Rashid is a winner here last week on this horse and picked up a second. You know, you'd like to think he will be competitive in this class. Shall he get through to the second phase? In the first 3 fences, it's jumped very nicely so far. Nice and balanced there, keeping it together before the double. Just touched off that back bar going in, unfortunately taken out of phase 2.
Yeah, the bell sounded there for the Qatari rider Rashid Ali Al-Mari. 47.98 that first phase time before jumping means he cannot continue into the second. Well, this is the man at the moment of the 5-star jumping here in Qatar. He rejoins us in the Longines Arena. He's the overall leader, part of the 4-week series, very much in the lead, with Eve Jobs in second with 95 points. Scott Brash for Great Britain leads with 144. we'll have to do some calculations to see even if he can be beaten by Eve or Harry in third, Will. But man of the moment, he's certainly on form and ranked within the top riders in the world. Rolex Grand Slam winner, 5-time major winner. He's just an absolute force to be reckoned with, in that performance at the European Championships last year as well. Scott Brash with Hello Folly.
Absolutely, and as you said, Scott, 4 Grand Prix wins and 4 different horses, including this horse in the 3-star Grand Prix last week. He's just a phenomenal talent, and as is the horse, and Scott's just on some form, but it'd be interesting to see if he uses Folly for the 5-star Grand Prix this week, which looks like he will be.
Why do you think he won't or wouldn't?
Because he's got 3 others. I think this one is the, I would say, is it looks like he's done with the other horses. Just give it a nice school round in this and save it for the Grand Prix, but he does have 4 spectacular horses to choose from. And
it's such a bad problem as such to have when you have 4 top world-class horses and you don't know which one you're going to take into a 5-star Grand Prix.
Absolutely, yeah. I wouldn't call it a problem. I think the best thing for the longevity of the horses, is to have more horses at that level, and you don't have to pressure them at the top level every time, as we've seen with Folly and Chidora jumping the 3-star Grand Prix and winning them. It's a little bit easier for the horses that are jumping at the absolute top level, and you can hopefully you will see a long road of jumping with those horses over the next few years.
Well, that wide angle shot there, that is the magnificent backdrop that we are situated in. If you haven't been or seen Alshaqab, it's absolutely glorious, and this man has jumped in it so many times. With the retirement there of Scott Brash and Hello Folly, we continue on to Abdullah Al-Shabatali, and representing the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, he goes with Derriya. This mare that's by Balou Duray out of a Demonte Dam. And also one of those riders that's just at the very much top of his game, an Olympian, and one to be watching for the week ahead here.
Absolutely, always a winner. He just wins everywhere he goes, as Abdullah. Always very competitive. He's already placed with his other horse, but he doesn't like to finish second too often, so this might be one that we will see really have a go and have a good competitive round. So, and a former horse of Julian Epiard, so one that I'm sure has plenty of experience going against the clock.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he does go against the clock, because he seems to be quite moving across the ground there. In that,
it looks like he's taking it easy.
Looks like he's pulling up and just waiting for the hand signal. Well, he's back round, but well, I would say he's going to retire.
Looks like that now. It's. I thought this might have been one that he'd be going. It's unlike Abdullah to not be competitive, but I'm sure you'll see plenty more classes in him where he will be giving it a very good go.
Yeah, exactly. He does decide to retire. Abdullah Al-Shabatali, and for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, he retires there. So we are into the final stages now. So 10 remain, with Kirsten van der Veen leading 28.08. Do you think it will be beaten, Will?
Well, I don't think so. She was very, very smooth, and her round that was so good, it was straight away, quick back to the Oxer, and one less at a couple of places. We haven't seen anyone take those chances so far, and with a good lead at the front, I think it's going to be hard to see anyone beat that.
Well, this man is the lead rider of Wathlan. Goes with Wathlan Quattro as Belgian warm-bloods gelding Fela Suid Al Ajami, and that Wathlan project is part of the ambitious program in the global qualifying for Los Angeles Olympics. It's a project for the Qatari riders as he goes with this 10-year-old.
And this horse jumped a very good round and just had a time fault in the 3-star Grand Prix here on the tour. A horse that has a very nice ability, looks like has plenty of scope and just keeping it together. Jumped that double very nicely. A little bit quick in there, but backs up and jumps it very nice coming out. Outside on the 8, jumps up very nicely and then goes round. Might pick up a couple of time faults here, but another one that's being prepared for the week ahead.
Well, approaching the last fence is the Qatari rider. And clears it, SALEH Al-Ajmi, and picks up 5 time penalties, 40.79. But again, for this opening 5-star class, nice and easy. Well, she's the current leader. Will she be able to take first and second, or will she be taking it nice and easy on this one? As Bull runs Amen. Scalding is 8 years old. Son of $1 Million out of a Claremont dam, and representing the United States of America, the current leader. Can she beat her own time, 28.08? Or do you think Kirsten van der Veen will be saving this one for the Grand Prix? Earlier was for the win.
It's hard to say. She's had a nice week last week, sort of building up, but so far she has done very well and has set the winning time. This looks like a lovely forward moving horse. Hopefully we see a good challenge for her own leading time. Not sure if she will be giving it a go just yet, but it looks like one that will be a very competitive horse, dare she decide, but she's eyeing it up, eyeing the turn. Nice turn.
Looks like she will. Well, looks like she is going for it. What do you think?
She's just had one extra stride than she had before. And same there, 8 strides, but got it lovely on the turn, turn back really quick. Brilliant shot there.
Could it be her time to beat 28.08? It's going to be close. It's 29.74, 1.66 slower into rank 4th for Kirsten van der Veen in the United States of America. So that means first and 4th for the USA rider.
And what a good way to start this week. Took last week a little bit easy and come out flying today. That was a really nice round, but you can see there compared to her other, she had an extra stride down a couple of distances, and that just all accumulates to the just over a second and a half that she is off her leading time.
Well, we're going now to the second ride of a number of riders, and this is the turn of the second place holder. Well, Millie Allen is back in with us. This time goes with Varka PS by Vivant out of a dark Derado. Thank you. Damn. Now Millie was 0.8 of a second slower than Kirsten van der Veen. This is her opportunity to take that top spot. We know she has the speed, precision and accuracy, just ever so slightly slower on that first ride. I think she could do it if she will go for it, Millie Allen.
I'd say this is a horse that she has been using in the Grand Prix and has her main horse, so you might be seeing Millie on the rare occasion taking it a little bit easier. But just this has been a great partner of hers for a bit. Had a great second place in the 2K Grand Prix, a big 3-star Grand Prix up in the north of France. but it's been, and it is this one that she has been jumping in the Grand Prix. Couple of mistakes, but some very good rounds so far in there. But she's carrying on going. Just a little bit wider than you'd usually see, really.
Yeah, this is certainly looks like one of these steady clears that we are seeing all competition. But I'm so excited for the future for Millie Allen. Even last year, she just proved to be so dominant in this international stage.
Absolutely, and she's got a great job there with Carol. Unfortunately for her, Carol is a dealing in yard, and he's sells so many. We've seen her best horse last year clear around the window with Nadia Peter Steiner and jump some great rounds. But Millie, she's really stepped up into that leading rider position, and she's really showing her talent and cementing her place there.
Yeah, definitely, and over the time allowed just ever so slightly there with 36.96, a one-time penalty. Millie Allen Varaka PS. Well, we're into the final 7 now. It's Max Kuhner and Eric Quantum. Robin the 50s back with us, and this time goes with this gelding by Camera Ball for Austria.
This horse has been very consistent over the first 3 weeks. He's aimed it for the second biggest class of the week each time, and it has delivered. It's had a first and a second and a 7th last week. But Max has a good few horses here, and this one I'm sure we will be seeing in either tomorrow's feature class or the Grand Prix.
Well, he's described as having a fighting spirit in the jump off, and definitely a man that knows everything about winning. He is certainly having a good time out here in Doha, but just escaping some of those top podium positions.
Did move up and got the 7. He's only the second person to do that so far. Tight back to this vertical. Not quite going to do it, but it isn't far off.
Yeah, that's a strong performance. 29.95, top 6 in fact for Max Kuhner in Austria. And at this late stage means that pushes Abdullah Al-Shabatli out of the top 6, with Kirsten van der Veen's 28.08 proving really difficult to beat now. Just the remaining 6 or so riders. And Dwight Shaber back in with us, and this time Cooper LB, 10-year-old by Coleman, representing Portugal. Well, that was a strong performance with the turns and the pace there.
Absolutely, I think Max saw that. You can let the horse go a little bit, but he hasn't over-pushed it. He still kept a super rhythm, almost like a tight time allowed. He rode that jump off and put himself in a nice little place to sort of get himself going for the week. And Duarte now on a horse that he jumped as part of his string in the Global Tours last year, a member of that for the past couple of years. Very nice down there, but just a little bit low at that vertical, keeping him out of the second phase.
Yeah, clears that last element of the double, concluding his time here in the arena with the end of his first phase, just the 4 falls with Dwight Shaber, Cooper LB, Portugal. Well, there is already one for Italy within the top 6, Roberto Privitali. He's in 5th place at the moment. Let's see if we can get one for Italy into another one for Italy in the top 6. 12 double clears at the moment with Millie Allen. 1-time fault, Eve Jobs with 2-time faults. As we continue to Emanuele Guariano and Nicolaj Di Music Stallion. It's 13 years old by Canaan for Ital.
And this horse had so many good results with Emmanuel over the years. But just comes down a little bit early on that back bar. Got a little bit tense, so just try and keep it together. And pop over that double there.
Well, 54.51 is what the clock stops at, so in fact it's, along with the 4 for jumping, 1 for time, Emanuele Guadiano and Nicolaj, the music, 5 falls. So we return to the Jordanian riders, and this is Ibrahim Bisharat and Leicester the Stallion. High Glenfiddich VDL. She steps forward in that magnificent backdrop under the lights, as you can see, and all the nation's flags represented to the left and right. A number of different stands, including VIP, VVIP, and also Amaze as a magnificent stall. Stall is quite a, I suppose, a wrong word to describe it. It's absolutely immaculate and luxurious. As we go to the 5th rider to join us. Correction, 5th last rider to join us.
Quite wide on this line, a little bit of an extra stride there for Ibrahim and Leicester. With Ibrahim being placed in a couple of the 150 classes over the past few weeks. Just taking it a little bit wider round to the Oxa. Keeping it together around that distance. Jumping a really nice second phase here. As you can see, it's settled into it. His rhythms come very nice, and just last 2 fences to go.
Well, we'll exceed that time allowed. In fact, is already in the time. As the clock is so unforgiving, it's 1 time penalty for every second exceeding that. So 6 time penalties for Ibrahim Hani Bishart. 41.16 there, Jordan. Well, the end is near as we go to Emanuele Kamali and Janko's Girl Star. This is the partnership that won the Longines Global Championship Tour in Mexico City last year. He was an Olympic individual finalist, Sunshine Tour legend. That's also another fantastic opportunity for those in Europe to compete over the winter and spring season. But Emanuele has joined us here in Qatar with this mare that's by Chaco Blue, Italy.
He's had a good form in this one, even in Riyadh there with 1st and 4th in 2 Grand Prix and a 2nd in the Guion, big Grand Prix. One that, as we said earlier, that Emanuele has 3 very, very good horses that are all capable of jumping those top 160 Grand Prix, with this being one of them. Started off his round very good. This horse has quite a forward rhythm, but jumping a lovely round so far, keeping it a little bit wide. jumping very well so far.
So we are to the third last, and Nadia Peter Steiner clear round El Mondo. This Zangastai gelding, my Comme Faut. A lady that is jumping out here for the last number of weeks in Doha, and was part of the European Championship bronze team. What's a feature winner here? Part of the 2026 Doha Tour. Peter Steiner. It's clear round El Mondo, Switzerland.
And this horse is a newer ride for Nadia. Took it over in October of last year in a former ride, as we said earlier, of Minnie Allen, where she had some excellent results here last year. Only a 10-year-old, and it's a combination that you can look to the future and see some very good things. And it's already been showing that with a third in the 155. Big class there last week, and a really nice forward-going rhythm with this horse.
Clearing the first and deciding to pull up there by the looks of it. Raise their hand there. Indeed, Nadia Peter Steiner, clear round El Mondo, is deciding to retire. Well, one competition remaining after this, and that is the second of our 5-star competitions. It's a prize fund of €106,000, so a height of 1.50 meters. That is coming up later on here today at approximately 7:45. Correction, coming up at 7:30. So next in the arena is the penultimate combination, and Canto Bruno, this gelding, joining us now for the United States of America. It's Eve Jobs.
And this is the horse that she's been so spectacularly well in the 5-star Grand Prix, picking up 3rd, 5th and a 7th. She's putting herself into 2nd place behind Scott Brash on the Grand Prix leaderboard. Another one we'd expect just to take it a bit easier. This horse is a lovely model, really nice and easy, but Eve does a very good job. She keeps herself so still, hands still, and it gives the horse all the time to jump with every bit of ability it has.
Well, over the time allowed there, so 55.012 for time. It's not proceeding into the second there for Eve Jobs, Canto Bruno, but as you say, well, that'll be one to watch for the week ahead, like so many of them here in this competition, just using it as a bit of experience. So we go to the last one, and Harry Charles will rejoin us. He's in the arena, waiting patiently as the bell is sounded now, with Fighting Phil, this gelding that's 9 years old, by Corner Dublinsky, out of a contender mare representing Great Britain. So Harry Charles.
This was only a 9-year-old, already had a very good result in the 8th place in the 150 Grand Prix on the 2nd week. One that Harry thinks a lot of, with plenty of future to be backing up his other top horses.
Well, we probably have our winner if this young man is looking to keep the energy, keep the horse for later on in the week. Then could be a win for the United States of America's Kirsten van der Veen, but we'll just have to wait and see. The winner walks away with just under €2,000, just the €6,000 of a prize fund in this 5-star, first of the 5 stars. We started off with 17 nations represented, 53 participants, Only one can be the winner.
And this horse has jumped a very nice round. Harry continuing his round, but going a bit wider, which certainly means that Kristen van der Veen has taken the win with her superb round on Starbucks 27.
Well, into time penalties then over that last fence. 39.61. It's 4-time penalties. Great Britain's Harry Charles concludes the 5-star 2 phase at a height of 1.40 m from myself and Will. That does conclude this competition. We'll now hand you over to the arena commentary, but don't forget, join us back here again 7:30 Qatari or Doha time. We'll be back with you then for the final competition of today, the 5-star 1.50 m. Bye bye for now.
Clock coming up here in a really short moment of time. We build up, there will be a course walk and many more information coming up. Next competition, 7:30. Number 2, there.
هلا شباب شلونكم؟ حياكم حياكم.